Hello, it is Tuesday, February 27th, 2024. I'm Chris Raymond. Welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Tuesday crossword today, which means we should be solving an early week themed puzzle that isn't too demanding. And I have heard that's the case. I've heard this is on the gentle side, which is good because I am running late this morning. I'm running particularly late, so I don't have very much time to solve this. So let's get on with it. This slightly perhaps abbreviated edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Victoria Rojishka, Kathleen Quinn, Quotidiophile, and, as always, the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the four of them. Those benefactors keep this channel going. I'm very grateful to their support. They contribute to the Patreon campaign, and that's what sustains this channel. So thank you so much to those four and to everybody who backs the Patreon campaign. You can do so yourself at patreon.com/dailysolve or via the description field link. You'll find there all of the bonus videos available to patrons, as well as for benefactors, the Let's Check the Crosses official mug. Thank you again to everybody who does contribute. And thanks if you've joined the Daily Solve Discord chat server. There's a link in the description field to that friendly chat community. And finally, also thanks if you've subscribed to the channel on YouTube. If you like the videos, comment from time to time. Those things are all a big help, so thank you. And now let's get right on to the crossword. This is a Tuesday-themed puzzle by Nate Carden, who's constructed around half a dozen crosswords for the New York Times. It was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. It will have a theme. Let's start solving and find out what it is. Cinnamon or cardamom. These are spices, so an individual one is a spice. We're only saying cinnamon or cardamom, so a single spice, not spices. Disapproving look could be a sneer or maybe not a stare, but a scowl maybe, or a sneer or a scowl. Hot drink, scowl probably, because a hot drink with marshmallows is cocoa. There we go. So we can put scowl in. And then speakers' platforms are, I don't know if it means the literal platform physically on which the speaker stands, or if it means a platform in the sense of a sort of policy slate. It's platforms plural. Sorry, I didn't see that. It's podia, as in the plural of podium. Okay, there we go. So it is a physical platform in this case. Okay, revered celebrities are... Why do I not see these things? Let's see. What about this? Blank Vegas Aces WNBA team. Well, it must be the Las Vegas Aces is a WNBA team, so a basketball team. And then this emoticon is a winky face, I guess. There we go. Yep, we have the little semicolon wink. And oh, I see. Revered celebrities are icons. Okay, they're iconic personalities. They're icons. I see. They're very, very recognizable and famous. Champagne stopper is a cork, would be the stopper in a bottle of champagne. Classes that are hard to fail are easy A's. Means a class in which the grades are handed out wantonly. The A grades. Assistance could be aid. You could help someone, aid, assistance. And here's another emoticon. I'm sad. I suppose if you typed this sad face emoticon, that might translate to I'm sad. But let's see if that is confirmed here. Big ticket blank. A big ticket item people sometimes use to refer to something expensive or, I don't know, maybe prestigious or rare. And here we have It's Raining Men. Is that a Gloria Gaynor song? I can't remember who performed it, but it's a classic disco track. After bath powder could be talc. I don't really remember that I've ever particularly used, but you use that to, make your skin soft, I guess. Great Lake with a vowel-heavy name would be Lake Erie, so 75% of its letters are vowels, 3 of 4 letters. Here we have a foal's mother is a mare, so in the sense of, animals, a horse, that kind of animal. And then Toy Story dachshund with a springy body, Slinky Dog sounds correct. I think that's the name of that character in Toy Story, the dog, sort of two-halved dog connected by a slinky. Like a dress with a diagonal hemline, say. It might end with cut, something cut, like a dress with a diagonal hemline. It's, I don't know. I'm not sure if this is a name. No, it's probably not a name for that dress because it says say. So this would only be an example of the thing listed. So it could be an adjective. I don't know. We'll come back to it. Nothing in Mexico could be nada, nothing. And me attitudes could be egos. You've got quite an attitude, a me attitude and ego. Moves excitedly like a puppy's tail would be wags, of course. So from the beginning, if you say, for instance, play a piece of music from the beginning, you play it anew. And a sweeping tale is a saga story that has a grand sweep of time, usually, grand scope of time. To gather together items or people could be to amass them. Oh, asymmetric. Asymmetric would be what a dress with a diagonal hemline say could be. So, as I said earlier, the say indicates this is just an example of a thing that's asymmetric. It doesn't literally mean it. So that's what that say is doing there. Okay, spot for a card skimmer in brief. Oh, an ATM? I think this is a device that would, without you knowing, would read your card information and pass it on to someone committing fraud. Okay, Misery co-star Bates is Kathy Bates. She is quite terrifying in this film, based on a Stephen King book, I think. Pressed one's luck. If one pressed one's luck, one... Ooh, can't quite see what that one is. What about this? LA winter clock setting. So this would be Pacific Standard Time. So it's the time zone in Los Angeles. So in the winter, it's standard time as opposed to daylight savings time. Okay, so goes the adage, if the shoe fits, wear it. So I suppose it means if the obvious thing applies, then go ahead. Inquire, if you inquire about something, you ask about it. And pressed one's luck. What is, pushed it? Yeah, okay, that works. You could say, oh, she really pushed it. She really pressed her luck. She was tempting fate. Okay, cockpit figure in an aircraft, for instance, would be a pilot. And liter or meter is a unit of measurement. Gloom's partner, doom and gloom, is a common phrase used to indicate pessimism and negative predictions. Assuming that's true, you could say, if so, assuming that's the case. Walrus feature would be a tusk. Walruses famously have very long, dramatic tusks. Oh, stinky tofu, this will be. Yes, vegetarian street food known for its distinct smell, stinky tofu. There we go. I know of that as a Chinese dish. It may well exist in other culinary cuisines, cultures as well. New Mexico art community. Interesting. I'm not sure what this is offhand. What about this one? Oscar winner Mahershala. Mahershala Ali is an Oscar winner. I think I think Moonlight, maybe, in which he was certainly great. New Mexico art community. I still don't know what this is. I wonder if I'll recognize it when I see it. Not sure. Tony Award-winning musical with the song Sex is in the Heel. As I've said before, I'm not very well acquainted with musical theater. So, is it Kinky Boots though? That is one of those. That's one of those shows I've seen ads for in the subway, that sort of thing. I think even here in London on the tube, but I have not seen it myself. But I bet it's the answer. And yes, okay, I think all the more certain because here we have blank seltzer, Alka-Seltzer, which is a tablet that you dissolve in water and drink it. And what does it do? Does it aid indigestion? I've never taken Alka-Seltzer, but something like that. Anyway, spring is shaped like a coil, much like the sort of torso of the Slinky Dog. And defend the rights of all people nationwide organization would be the ACLU the I think American Civil Liberties Union, which is a nonprofit organization. And hard-edged anti-corporate musician could be a punk rocker, maybe. Yeah, that sounds right. That fits. Punk music traditionally sort of anti-corporate and hard-edged. Pork portion would be a loin, as in pork loin, is a cut of meat. And belly button build-up could be lint in your building up in your belly button. So there we go. One with unselfish motivations is an altruist, someone who acts altruistically or not in self-interested, not with self-interested motives. So I just realized we have slinky dog, winky face, stinky tofu, kinky boots. So they all rhyme with inky. That seems to be the theme. Slinky, winky, stinky, kinky. Right. Okay, so anyway, Trojan School. So I do recognize this, at least. Trojans, University of Southern California, USC, big sports school, along with UCLA, I think. To wallow moodily would be to sulk, to be kind of maybe a bit doom and gloom. And a variety could be ilk, as in kind or sort. I think this was in Connections yesterday or the day before. Ilk. Condition that may involve repetitive behavior, for short. OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, which I think was also in the crossword proper within the last few days. To make an offer at an auction would be to bid on something at an auction, and something gross is yucky, you could say, and here that creates another KY for our theme clues there. Oh, I'm sorry, I hadn't actually read the clue until just now, but it's small time. It's rinky-dink, kind of small time operator. Could be a sort of rinky-dink operator, sort of, cheap and maybe has delusions beyond one station or something. I don't know. Anyway, cafeteria food holder could be a tray of food. And if you're serving, oh no, it's not serving as a verb. It's a serving with chop suey, maybe. So rice, you could order in a Chinese restaurant. And Elsa's sister in Frozen is Anna, I think. I believe. I have seen that film once. Follow as a package would be to track a package's progress in shipping. And target for salicylic acid could be acne. I've seen that clued before, maybe within the last couple of weeks, in fact. And then a school one starts in the fall. A school year starts in the fall, traditionally. Okay, what about this little clue? Homer Simpson exclamation. Homer Simpson, the character in The Simpsons, famously shouts dope when he realizes he's made a mistake. A single time, something has happened only once. And a Christmas tree, often, very frequently, a pine tree. That's pretty classic. Machu Picchu resident could be an Inca, so that is part of the Inca civilization, Machu Picchu. And top part of a person or something else could be a head. And if one is tatted, one is tattooed, one is inked, one has tattoos. A little finger adornment is a pinky, what? A pinky ring, maybe? So there's another, our final inky, actually, it goes in the grid. Final to be solved, anyway. If one makes a certain video call, one Skypes, largely displaced by Zoom, it seems, since the pandemic, roughly. Like areas around waterfalls, they're misty. They have mist from the crashing water. And a spy's gathering would be intel, so a spy would gather information, intelligence. Covert information. And ecstasy's opposite, the ecstasy and the agony, or the agony and the ecstasy, that's about Michelangelo, perhaps? Anyway, it's also just a phrase, broadly speaking, the agony and the ecstasy. Obviously contrasting there as opposites. And then here we have Mamma Mia, which is a phrase, but in this case, I wonder, well, actually, I was going to say, I think maybe it means the musical, but there's no way to tell. Because it being in quotation marks could mean either that, or it could simply mean it's an exclamation that somebody is crying out. So it's either the jukebox musical based on the music of ABBA, or it's just a person yelling out Mamma Mia, and we don't know. It's a mystery. Who knows what the creator intended, what the constructor intended. A basil-based sauce could be pesto, fresh green sauce. And then eroded with away, coastline, for instance, could be eroded, it could be eaten away. And then finally, if you did something in a sneaky way, you did it slyly, and something not fake is real. And there we have it. So that was indeed, I would say, a nice approachable puzzle for a Tuesday. Nothing in there that I think was too... trying to think, was there anything that held me up? I don't think so. I think I was pretty much able to just coast through this puzzle. It is an early week puzzle, so it is what we expect. And we had a very simple theme that doesn't require identifying the theme in order to solve it. We simply answer the individual questions, the individual clues, I should say. But in doing so, we end up with several answers that fit a particular format. We have a slinky dog, a winky face, stinky tofu, kinky boots, pinky ring, and rinky dink. And there we go. How many of those were there? 6, perhaps? Yeah. So we have 6. They're not rhyming, but you could sort of say they're assonant. In other words, they have internal sort of rhyming components, but they don't conclude on rhymes. But that's it. It's a nice, simple early week crossword with a nice, simple, elegant theme by Nate Carden. So hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be back tomorrow with the Wednesday crossword, our midweek, mid-difficulty puzzle. Should be maybe a little bit of a step up and challenge from this one. Join me then and find out. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Tuesday. Take care.